Hey everyone, Sarian here. Today we're checking out Was A Teenage Exocolonist. This is a story-based RPG game with some deck-building mechanics. In this game you'll start off as a kid living in a newly established colony on an alien planet, and as you grow older, you'll learn new skills and build relationships for the livelihood and survival of your colony. The folks on the Exocolonist team reached out to me to showcase their new game, and if you're interested in trying it out yourself, check out the link to the game page in the description. My first impression of this game, I really like the combination of visual novel and RPG game elements, which are my two favorite genres, so that won me over. As for the deck building, to be completely honest, I never really played card games, but starting out the challenges were really straightforward and forgiving, which I appreciated. The rules for the challenges are based on poker, and for a non-card game player, it took a couple of tries and looking back at the tutorial to understand, but the thing I really appreciated was how the card challenges didn't ruin the flow of the story at all. I think they did a really good job of incorporating that in a way that made sense with the narrative. Stick around for some gameplay, but one last thing I wanted to highlight was the art and sound direction, which is really half of the game. The soundtrack has a great mix of artists, some of which you may have heard of, like C418. Who worked on the official soundtrack of Minecraft. You are allowed to switch songs while playing, which is great because I could just open up the game and listen through the whole soundtrack. It really captures both the soothing and uncanny aspects of living your best extraterrestrial solar punk life on a completely different world. Alright, without further ado, let's get to the actual gameplay. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire. Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out, but you aren't sure how you got here, or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is a ringing in your ears. Try to climb out. You try to stand up, but one of your legs folds uselessly underneath you. It won't hold your weight. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? Oh no. The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. This is really cinematic, I like it. You are born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vertumna 4, in the hope they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged their cultures and traditions. They name you, Solana, Solane, something else? Sarian. I can spell it. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination. Sometimes too active, your mom says. Okay. You can customize our pronouns. That's interesting, this having a slider for the pronouns. Let's go with he, him. And let's stick with an androgynous appearance. You have vivid dreams of things you've never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles and strange animals. You wonder if this is what Vertemna will be like. Huh. Every child on the stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see the first sign of yours. Alright, we can get eagle eyes, extra fingers, absorbent brain, like a sponge, like a Scotch Brite, super strength, or calm temperament. I think the one that fits me most would be the calm temperament. Nothing can faze you. You're rarely frustrated and you don't let anxiety get the better of you. You brush insults aside, always play nice, and never have to be told that sharing is caring. -1 stress, alright. You're especially nice to your friend. Let me see. Energetic and loyal anemone. Tough and gentle Cal. Bold and confident Mars. Quiet and adventurous These. This. Studious and mature Tangent. I'm gonna go with energetic and loyal. Oh, you're Anemone. Anemone is the most enthusiastic person you know. Your favorite memory is the time she taught you how to play 0G sports ball after class. She never means to get you in trouble, but somehow you always seem to find it together. Yeah, Anemone. Alright, you're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the Wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to other star systems. The planet Vertumna the 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. Okay. When the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, then things start to slide off the tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's gonna be fine, Sarian, your dad soothes. We'll be through the wormhole and down on the planet before you know it, just like we practiced. Your mom gives him a sharp, worried look. Maybe they're not so sure. The red emergency lights switch on as a siren begins to sound somewhere distant in the ship. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look out a porthole. The stars are gone. When you're frightened, you put on a tough face. Sometimes you pretend to be confident so that people around you will be less scared. Okay. Tough face. I'm guessing we're collecting cards through these memories. You wait, the shaking builds. Then everything starts to get very weird. The hallway stretches, and you're stretching too. Your arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon and contracting down to the size of an atom at the same time. Is this the wormhole? You hear the distant ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The weirdest part is a sense of déjà vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, and you know somehow that everything is going to be okay. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall head first. You black out. As you slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow all at once. And more than just one tomorrow, lots of them, different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams, tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and a stranger, but also not a stranger, grinning as she grabs your hand. Hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distantly, you can feel the ship's shaking has stopped and hear your parents' worried voices. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. The medbed under you plays a soft tone and an automated voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completed healing. They may now be safely discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright. You try to focus on the window. Something is definitely different. Sunlight? Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns is streaming through the windows. You peer out and see fields, glass wall domes, and walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. They worked really fast. There are construction materials everywhere and people walking around outside, on the ground. You better get out of there and join them. I'm gonna run right out. That's exciting. Alright. Oh, Tammy jumps as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake! Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. To walk, click on the ground. Alright. I didn't know we were clicking. I'm using both the controller and the mouse. Hey, Dad. Sarian, your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're awake. Dr. Instance thought it'd be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, my snoozy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He's clearly very worried about you, but covers it with jokes and smiles. So embarrassing. I was in a fucking coma. Welcome to Vertumna, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric form from the outside, except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two and parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill. How did you do this so fast? That's what I want to know. You've been asleep for weeks, my dear aubergine, he says. And these geodesic greenhouses practically put themselves up. But some of this is only a quick temporary solution, he admits. We'll keep growing and improving things. One day our little colony will be as big as a whole city. Oh, and before I forget, he pulls a package out from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? Yes, you honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in the medbay. Happy birthday, he shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already? You feel a dizzying sense of déjà vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad made by hand. Huh. Tell me you know what it is. That's interesting. I wonder if the wormhole incident caused us to have like a split mind and through time and space. You describe the medallion and your dad tisks as he hands you the package. Who ruined the surprise? Was it Seek? I'll bet it was Seek. They hate fun. He grins and adds, don't tell him I said that. You start to explain that nobody told you, but someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Sarian, he says, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed and... He stops himself. Don't worry. We're gonna fix it, your mother and I. Professor Hal is expecting you in classes, if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing in the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Sarian. I love you. Cute. Love you too, Dad. Alright. Okay, we can enter buildings and choose an activity for the whole month. Okay. There's 13 months a year and 10 years to the end of the game. Got it. Alright, so I guess we'll have to find our niche. Is this... I'm guessing this is like the hydroponics place. Does it tell us what it is? No. Command. Okay. At the end of the hallway opens into the supply depot. Alright, a bunch of offices and supplies. I'm not interested. Living quarters. Relax for a month. That's quite a bit of relaxing. I want to do something exciting. Been asleep for weeks. The low throbbing noise comes from the engine room. Okay, engineering. Congruence, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Sarian. Don't tell me what to do. Suppose it would be nice to study, so we know a bit more about the planet. Oh, hey. Anemone. Hi, Sarian. Anemone seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around with her foot, making patterns in the weird blue snow. This stuff is different from snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat, and you can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little. Anemone is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. What you making? Just snow spirals, she says. But earlier me and Cal made a big snow pal. You missed it while you were sleeping in medbay. She smiles her broad gap-toothed smile at you. Now that you're awake, we can play. Why aren't you in school? She smacks her forehead. School? I wondered where everyone was. I guess I'm gonna be late for Humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. What a delinquent. It's okay, she says. Professor Hal is chill. He won't mind, but we should probably go now. She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey, race ya. No fair. She's getting a head start. Aw, man. Alright. Humanity. We get 4 chat bubbles and 2 frowny faces. Okay. Welcome, Sarian. Professor Hal greets you. I hope you're all warmed up and ready to study the glorious humanities. History, literature, language, media, and philosophy. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient Earth poetry too. He seems excited about that last bit. What a nerd. By the way, if anyone is interested in taking engineering classes, please register through Congruence's scheduling system when you have a chance. She'll be helping me teach them. Today's assignment is an easy one, Hal says with a yawn. Because I was up late repairing Congruence's subterminal and I could use a nap. I'd like you to write an essay on what the Vertumna colony means to you. My friends are here. You write about all your buds and the fun things you do together. When Hal wakes from his nap, oh my god, he's actually napping in class. He did say he would do that, but I don't know why I'm still surprised. He asked a few students to read their essays to the class. Mars is annoyed that you hardly mention her. Well, you aren't really friends, so get to work. Okay, when you go to work or class, you can play a quick hard challenge as the month passes. Okay. Move 5 cards to fill the 5 panes and make the best hand you can. The order matters. If your total in the circle on the right reaches the goal value, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won, but you still get a reward for doing your best. Okay. I have never played any card games like this before, so we'll see how this turns out. Okay, bonus for flushes, same color together. And bonus for pairs. Okay. Same number. There's a bonus for straights. The more cards in a flush pair or straight, the higher the bonus. Alright. Let's see. I should have done the 3. I can't put them back, of course. Oh, I just switch them out, I guess. Alright, looks good to me. The goal is only 5. Alright. School increases your skills, and working also increases stress. Gotcha, that's the frowny faces. Okay. I thought we could choose these, so we got some new skills now. Hey, Mars. A sharp whistle interrupts your thought. Hey, Sarian! Mars calls out to you. Come here. I have a job for you. You walk over to Mars, who's sheltering from the snow under the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. This spark snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship we had climate control. Wait, what did that say? Tammy made me some soy sweets, but there's no way I'm going out there in all this weather, she continues. Since you like running around in it, could you fetch them for me? Okay. Good, Mars claps. She's probably just down the hill near our quarters. She sighs. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. I see. Tammy is staring obliviously at the sky, smiling to herself. She startles as you approach. Oh, hello, Sarian, she says, putting her hand to her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for Mars' soy sweets. She smiles at you. Oh, it's so nice of you to help out Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in a pink and yellow scarf. One order of mango soy sweets, made fresh this morning, she says. Please tell Mars that she can have the scarf back, okay? She used some of her kudos to nano print it for me because it's so dusty here, but I think I'm getting used to it now. Tammy smiles again and tucks her hair behind her big elven ears. Mars is so cool, she says fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares too. You're literally like 10 steps away. Mars puts out her hand expectantly. Give it here. I ate them. Let's just hand them over. Mars takes it and giggles. You're such a good sidekick, doing everything I say. She opens the box and hands you a soy sweet. Your tip, she tells you. Oh, an administrator seeks looking for someone to do delivery jobs for the depot, she says. I don't want to do it because, like, ew, running around there? No. Just go through here, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell them I referred you. You know what? No. I would rather do some gardening. I'm going to shovel some dirt. You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouses. These domes will house more than the more delicate plants from Earth. Spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do? She asks. Remember, Sarian, you're responsible for your own schedule. Now that we've landed, you can decide how to spend your time so long as it's productive. Whatever. Professor Hal's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hand on her shoulder. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know? What are you doing here? We're doing our best, but it hasn't been easy. I see, there's sprouts still. She takes a long look at you, up and down. You're growing fast, Sarian, but you're still too young for real farming. Instead, well, there's a lot of soil that needs to be hauled. Seeing your disappointment, she nudges you on the shoulder. Don't pout. It'll help build those muscles. You need them now that we're out in the real world doing real work. She flexes her biceps. Your mom is really strong. What's going on in command? Oh yeah, the office supplies. They're setting up a shop there. It's where the captain or governor works. You shouldn't bother her. She's a busy woman and she doesn't have your mother's patience with kids. Your mom isn't usually known for her patience. Can I join expeditions? Oh, you're too young to leave the colony. It's dangerous. She shakes her head. Your father would be worried. There's so much we still don't know about the world out there. Let the adults find out, then maybe you can join them in a few years when you're older. She gives you a stern look. She isn't going to budge on this one. For now, stay inside the walls. Okay. Can I do some shoveling? Okay. The seasonal garden outside is dotted with blue nobodies. Little flowers with what look like wriggling creatures stuck inside each one. A sign explains it's a decoy meant to attract some kind of flying predator to come pollinate the flowers. Wonder what kind of pollinators they have here. Oh boy, it's your first day in the glorious world of agricultural soil conveyance. Alright. I hope you don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my son. Okay, your job's to move sod, compost, plants, whatever. A wheelbarrow. Don't we have machines for this? The construction crews already claimed the hover lifts, she said, shrugging. But they'll break down in a few years anyway, and we don't have the materials to fix them. We're planet side now. Use your muscles, nature's hydraulic pistons. Why not use hydroponics? On the ship we grew most of our plants with their roots in the water, and it's true it was more hygienic that way. But hydroponic systems use too much energy. Here we have to grow as much as we can the old-fashioned way. Alright, that makes sense. But could have used like solar power or whatever. Or whatever the stars here are. That's my boy, your mom says, slapping you on the back. You stumble a little. Everyone's so bossy. Shoveling dirt. So fun. Oh shit. All strength cards under 2 become 2, so... we don't have any more though, so... guess that's it. Okay, how are we doing on stress? We definitely need a break. This week you had a few more bouts of déjà vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning you were sure Professor Hal was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. He even told Mars to watch. He didn't though. As he walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings, only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into the colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? This is foreshadowing on another level. Anytime you try to tell someone, they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick and need to go to medbay. You eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? You don't want people to worry. Your parents have so much in their minds already. You have a feeling that something is happening at Geoponics that they don't want you to know. You don't understand it, but they come home at night. When they come home at night, they look really sad. You don't want to make that worse. If you just keep going to classes and staying out of trouble, it'll be easier for everyone, yourself included. Oh man. Forget classes. Oh, hey. You're a new friend. Cal is riding around the geoponics garden on his hoverboard. It comes to a sudden shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. He falls off, but catches his balance before he'd stirred. Hi, Sarian. Real ground is way harder to hover on than ship floors. There's bumps everywhere. That sucks. Oh, no way. I didn't mean it like that, Cal explains. It's actually really cool. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. He runs over to a small depression in a nearby hill and presents it like it's something amazing. Look, it's a skate ball. Okay. Cool, can I try? Sure, but please be careful. Mom says if I break my hoverboard, we can't make another one. Take turns riding around the bowl, trying to get up enough speed going down one side to come back the other. You don't land any tricks. It's hard just staying on the board with this uneven ground, but it's still fun. Sweet. Okay, how can we take a break this month? So it looks like everyone's outside. You see Dis sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memories so strong that you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Breaking from your daydream, Dis whispers, I think there's monsters out there. I believe you. No, you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic. I can tell. Nobody believes me. He turns back and ignores you. They're huge and wriggly and dangerous. Stop making fun of me, Dis pouts. You're as bad as Mars. Somehow I knew that was a bad idea. Whatever. Hey, Anemone. Anemone holds her stomach as you approach. Does the air here make you feel hungry all the time, or is it just me? She wonders. I feel I could eat a whole one of the mushroom trees. Just she minds shoving a whole giant mushroom in her mouth. Hold on. Telling a violent tale. Looks like we can't do that. Hi. You look serious. Tangent. Who named you? Whoever named you is a nerd. She's hunched over her holopalm, frowning and poking angrily at the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Hal wants us to prep a list of native flora with pictures. There should be a catalog in the colony holonet, but I can't find it anywhere. I'll help you find that catalog. I know how to do it. It would be very weird to have a phone like that. Everyone can just see what you're looking at. You launch your own holopalm and start searching the colony's holonet archives for a list of autumnal plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under survey logistics in the expeditions net. Whatever that means. Anemone passes by and pulls a face at the two of you. Hey, hollow nerds, she shouts. School's over. Come play sports ball in the sunshine. Tang just rolls her eyes. Is Mars still here? Hey, Mars. Oh. Hi, Sarian. Marzipan looks bored. Marzipan? No way. My dad's made me come out to get some fresh air. Dunno what's so fresh about it. It's always full of acid snow or pollen or water, and I don't know which is worse. Okay. You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance of the lounge. You've known her for, well, your entire life. back on the ship, you were her study partner. Tammy was awful. Just awful at Earth history. Dang! She thought Europe was the name of an English queen, and the Pacific was the name of a famous ceasefire treaty. Facts go in one of her huge ears. Oh my god, and back the other. No matter how hard you try, she never seemed to improve. Jesus, this narrator is not backing off. Your ears perk up hopefully when she sees you. Hello, Sarian. I was hoping you could help me with some homework. Okay. Oh, thank you. She bounces up and down. You spend a couple of hours trying to teach her the difference between exothermic and endothermic reactions. One makes heat and one absorbs it. Why is this so hard for her to understand? The thing is, Tammy never loses heart when she fails the test or gets an answer wrong. It's inspiring, even though sometimes you feel like you get dumber after studying with her. I think a good way to study is to teach people, but maybe not always. Maybe only certain people. Okay. What does Dad have to say? Hello, my little potato, your dad explains, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? Love these pet names. Just hanging out with friends. That cow's a good boy, he says. And have you seen Anemone? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she spent every day outside since we landed. He chuckles to himself. Guess that's what happens when you've got enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Vertumna is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I miss seasons. Back on Earth, it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait till dust season. Both the suns will be high in the sky and it'll be real hot then. You'll see. I don't think I want to see that. But alright. Is there the living quarters? Yeah, let's relax for this month. Looks like you're not the only one who needs downtime. Some of the other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. Sit alone with your hollow palm. Like a loser. Let's talk with Mars and Dis. Okay, but you do stink. You hear Mars defend herself. It's not my fault that you can't tell. Maybe your nose stopped working, but the rest of us can smell it, and... She waves her hand in front of her nose and makes a PU gesture, then turns to you. He smells awful, right, Sarian? My god, a bully. Let's do a sniff test. I mean, let's be honest at least. You make a show of sniffing the air around Dis as he stands uncomfortably still. His clothes are a little dirty, but he smells fine to you. Kind of faintly boyish, like leaves on grass. You tell this to Mars. Leaves on grass, ew, yeah, she says, nodding. That's exactly what I meant. If you think that smells good, you're both hopeless. Whatever. What's that? You wake from an afternoon nap. You squint into the pink-tinged light slanting through the windows. You must have fallen asleep in the lounge. Tammy's shadow falls across the nest of her pillows. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarian, she says, giggling. I didn't mean to wake you up. It's just so nice outside. With pollen sparkling in the sunlight, I wanted to open the windows. You rub your eyes blurrily. Ugh, you're having the weirdest dream. Since you're awake, you should visit the cafeteria. Auntie Sedent is making a new kind of candy. She says it's made of cotton. Isn't that weird? I have to go tidy the creche first. Then I'll meet you there. Save some for me, okay? I have no idea what a creche is. Tammy skips off to the creche, humming to herself. I do want candy. In the cafeteria, Auntie Sedent is cheerfully handing out masses of pink candy, puffy and soft like clouds. Oh, Sarian, she says, handing you a wand with some candy spun around the end. Here, try some of this. We used to have it on Earth. You pull off a piece and give it a taste. It's so sweet at first that your mouth puckers. You've never tasted anything so sweet and so real. It's not at all like the soy sweets that the kitchen nano printer can make. It melts in your mouth, leaving a gritty residue on your tongue. You wait until everyone's gone, but Tammy never shows up. You look down at the cotton candy in your hands. It's wilted a little from the humidity, but it's kind of like her hair, you think. Pale pink and so soft. What is going on? Did we get lace candy? That was some weed cotton candy. You're relaxing in your family's quarters after dinner. Your mom had to run off on some kind of council business, so you and your dad are playing a holo game together. When you're just about ready to head off to bed, your mom returns. You can tell from the defeated slant of her shoulders that something has gone terribly wrong. Your dad starts to ask her what's happened, but she just sighs and waves him away. She sits down and takes your hand, holding it between her two strong, dirt-creased ones. What? Sarian, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this, she starts. Her mouth quivers as she swallows, working on her next word. There was an accident this morning in the creche. Your classmate, Tammy, has died. You try to understand her words. Tammy? Dad, that's not possible. You suddenly remember the cotton candy you were saving to give Tammy. Pink and fluffy, just like your hair. You put your hand in your pocket to get it, but what comes out is a sticky, dark red lump of hard goo. You stare at it, your mind blank. What happened? Your mom tells you, as simply as possible, that Tammy was killed by an electric shock from a broken holo projector. It was just an accident. You press her for an explanation. A little girl is dead, someone you'd grown up with, someone so much like you. She wasn't sick or anything. You just saw her this morning. She was right there. Why? Your mom's eyes are sad when she tells you, sometimes there's just no reason why. Alright, is there like therapy on this planet? What? Holy shit. Oh my god, we're never gonna see her again. How can they do that to us just so early? Cal's sitting in your mom's flower garden with his face in his hands. He's clearly been crying all morning and probably all of yesterday too. He and Tammy were really close. Whenever you guys used to play in the house in the creche. Crèche? I want to say crèche. Tammy was always the mommy and Cal was the daddy. Even though you're just little kids, you kind of always giggled about how obviously they were going to be together forever. Like a princess and a knight. I miss her too. Me too. He sniffs, looking up at you. You can see how puffy and red his eyes are. Me really, really too. Tammy always liked these flowers, he mumbled. Sometimes I pick some for her. He runs his hands over the pretty white flowers. Don't tell your mom, okay? Tears well up and slowly leak out of his eyes. He doesn't even blink, just stares at the flowers as the tears run down his cheeks. You decide to give him some space. Oh shit. Oh, this is really bumming me out. Tang is pacing around in front of engineering. She looks upset. It shouldn't have happened, she says. Tammy's... What happened to Tammy? It shouldn't have been possible. There was no reason for that holo projector to break. Professor Hal said it was recently serviced, and nothing was wrong with it before it just blew up for no reason. Nobody would have wanted to hurt her, so why? How? It doesn't add up. Sorry, Sarian. I want to think about this some more. I hate when I can't find the answer. Seems like she seems to think like there was some foul play involved. Can you believe Tammy died? This asked morbidly. I heard Chief Engineer Instance tell someone about it. He lowers his voice. Tammy got shocked by a broken holo projector. The one in the crèche with the dancing teddy bear, you remember? When she touched it, she got chucked all the way across the room. He makes a sailing motion with his hand, and bam! She was dead before she even landed. Really? Yeah, I mean, it's too bad she's gone. She was nice. Tugs at the sleeves of his oversized jacket, but that's kind of a cool way to die. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? You are a messed up kid. An anemone is chucking rocks at the strato, sending metallic clangs ringing through the colony. Stupid planet, she yells. Stupid crèche, stupid spaceship. She bends down to pick up another rock, but instead just sobs and braces her hands on her knees. Stupid everything. Why'd she have to die? It's not fair. Kids aren't supposed to die. God. Wait, why does sports ball add to the stress? That's interesting. How does Mars feel about this? Mars is staring into space, looking somber. She doesn't even notice as you come up beside her, and barely reacts when you say hello. I'm thinking about Tammy, she says quietly. She used to sit down the hill there in that spot in the sun. Every morning she'd just sit there for hours in the sun, doing nothing, just being happy. You stare down the hill to the spot near the entrance to the quarters. You can imagine her there, working on some little craft project, humming to herself. She was so nice to everybody. And now she's dead, Mars says, making a face. How's that for fair? Of all the people, how come it had to be my friend? You don't have an answer. You've never heard Mars call Tammy her friend before, but of course she was. Tammy was everyone's scared little sister, even though she was older than most of you. Mars clicks her tongue. Oh yeah, Administrator Seek is looking for you. I guess they need someone to do delivery jobs. She waves vaguely at the door behind her, distracted by her thoughts. Why is there an egg here? A hefty red Xeno egg. Okay. Mom, Dad? Your mom pats your shoulder encouragingly. I'm so sorry, Sarian. Sorry you're feeling blue, Sarian. Things will start to look up again soon. Where's the emotional support here? Alright, we definitely need to take a break. Okay. Oh no, Tammy's not even here. That's so sad. The colony is going to hold a funeral for Tammy. Do you want to attend? Tammy who? What? Yeah, let's go to the funeral. God. The colonists gather in the recycling room. Bringing organics down here to be recycled here is one of your chores, but you've only come here for a funeral twice. Both times the colonists had passed away from natural causes during the 20-year-long journey from Earth. This is the first time there's been a funeral in Vertemna, and the first time for someone you actually knew. The mouth of the organics recycler has been polished, and a wreath of yellow flowers placed over the opening. Inside you can see a shrouded figure, Tammy's small, fragile body. Tammy's dad, Uncle Tonin, is here, as well as your parents, and antecedent, and the rest of the council. Cal is here with his mom and her partners, already crying in their arms. The room is packed with people, and the feeling of grief is so thick you can taste it in your mouth. Governor Edicott stands before the assembled crowd. There are no words to ease the pain we feel today, she begins solemnly. There is only the sad company of those of us left behind to share the burden of that grief. Tammy was our child, she continues. One of the first humans to be born in space, and the first to die on an alien planet. In her short life, she exemplified the very arc of human accomplishment, bending hopefully towards life beyond our humble earth. She is the first of us who can truly call Vertumna home. Her passing was as senseless as it was sudden. Losses like this are impossible to hold within oneself, a painful reminder that life is impossibly precious and fragile. But they always remind us, as always, that as a community we are capable of great strength. Edicott closes the door to the recycler. You hear Uncle Tonin sob over the hum of the particle disintegrators beginning their work. As a community, we remember Tammy. As a community, we return her body to the soil that nourishes us. In this way, Tammy, our child from the stars, will never truly be lost to us. The ceremony is adjourned, but a few people stay back to console Uncle Tonin as he keeps vigil over the recycler. Cal and Tonin hold each other and weep openly. Your mom stays behind to receive Tammy's remains. As the head of geoponics, she'll be responsible for adding them to the colony's precious supply of brown soil from Earth. Your dad accompanies you out of the recycling room. He clears his throat. I want you to know that you don't need to be okay, he says, clasping his warm hand on your shoulder. If you want to take the rest of the month off, everyone's gonna understand. I think it would be a good idea to take the month off. It's gonna be summer soon. The prospect of just going back to school like everything is normal is too much to handle. You end up spending the whole month alternating between sleeping, scrolling the holonet, and staring into space. It's restful, at least, and everyone gives you the time you need to process Tammy's death. Dust. Tangent shoots you a distracted look. Sorry, she says. I'm not really good cheering people up. Anemone is lying in the dirt, sweating and gasping for breath. It's so hot, she complains. How am I supposed to run in these conditions? Here, I got something for you. An egg or a cake? Maybe not. Despite the heat, Dis remains covered from head to toe in black. It's not that hot, he mumbles. Hey Cal, how you holding up? Cal's mom, Tira, is sitting with Cal against the makeshift fence that surrounds the gardens. He looks absolutely shattered, and Tira rubs his back comfortingly. He sees you and musters up a brave smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Hey, Sarian. It's good to see you. I think you should get this cake. Cal's eyes go wide. Wow! Sarian, this is my favorite thing in the whole planet! He makes grabby hands at the cake and takes a big huff of the pleasant, sugary smell as his eyes slip closed in sheer pleasure. Wow, Sarian, he breathes. You're really the best of the best. Here, you have a piece too. Let the icing melt in your mouth, and let all your worries melt away with it. Definitely likes cakes. It's time for Vertumnalia. Edicott and the council have called a festival to celebrate life here on planet Vertumna. Everyone gathers in the colony square to hear Governor Edicott's speech. In Earth's history, Edicott begins and then clears her throat and waits for everyone to quiet down. Ahem. In Earth's history, Vertemna was known as the god of seasons, change, gardens, and fruit. It's no coincidence that our forebears of the Vertumna Project chose to take on such an auspicious name in the hopes of seeding future bountiful seasons of humanity. We will continue his traditions of Vertumnalia, a midsummer festival to celebrate our Vertumna, this lush planet upon which we find ourselves today. Yawn. You start to tune the speeches out after that. The members of the council all get up on stage one at a time to say something. When it's your mother, Flulu's turn, she announces that tonight you'll be eating some of the very first crops grown for Vertumnan soil. Your eyes go through the feast table. Aboard the Stratosphere, it would have been mostly soy-based food from the nanoprinters, spiced up with what precious fruit and vegetables could be grown in the small growing bays. This year, the earth plants look even less robust than usual, but they're supplemented by some Vertumnan plants you've come to appreciate. Juicy watado pods and bobber fruits, and slabs of edible fungi. Edicott takes the stage after everyone at the council has said their piece. What is a festival without festivities, she asks. Professor Hal and Security Chief Rhett have organized a 3-part competition for the kids. Good luck, children. Which one do you join? Ooh, I guess the only one I can do is bot wrestling. A bot wrestling contest is a classic competition for years. Someone rigged up a hydraulic lifting bot to slowly stretch out, increasing its strength over time. Alright, see how long you can hold it closed before it pops open. That does seem a little dangerous, but okay. Okay, story challenges have 3 rounds instead of 1. After every round, you'll keep the cards you didn't play. Okay, losing isn't always a bad thing in story challenges. I see. I wonder if we should do the weakest cards first. Our goal is 43. Okay. Okay. Let's see, +1 to the empathy card, or what is this? The yellow card to the right. Alright, we can do something there. Okay. Anemone's brother, Com, is the judge and awards bonus points for technique as well as brute strength. You sit on the hydraulic bot and use your weight at first, but it wobbles too much and eventually tosses you off. Anemone uses a strong leg hold technique and lasts 30 seconds longer than you do before the bot finally escapes her grip. Com declares her the winner. She offers you her hand, then pulls it back at the last second before running away, cackling. Maybe next year. Ugh. Alright. During the fierce heat of dust, a few days rest is exactly what you need. Alright, it's mid-dust. What can we do today? Hey, Cal. You're looking for Cal in the garden when you nearly trip over someone else. One of the younger kids, and they're blindfolded? Hey! They exclaim, ripping the blindfold off their face and throwing it to the ground. It's Sirius, one of Anemone's brothers. He glares at you. I was almost done. Cal jogs over and grabs Sirius in a friendly headlock, ruffling his messy red hair. Dude, you're so close. Sirius stamps his feet. It's not fair. I almost got it that time. Siren got in my way. It's not his fault, Cal says. He didn't know we were playing a game. Give me a sec. I want to play it. Teach him how to play. What are they doing? Cal turns to you as Sirius leaves. Sorry, Sarian, he says sheepishly. I was teaching Sirius a new game, but he's more like Anemone than I thought. Real competitive, you know? He stoops to pick up the blindfold, brushing off the dirt. I've been trying to come up with different kinds of games other than sports ball, he says. No winners or losers. I just want to have fun with my friends. He looks at you hopefully. Do you want to learn how to play? Let me check my schedule. Yes. Cal's smile looks like it's going to stretch right off his face. Radical, he shouts, jumping up and down with excitement. Okay, so first put on this blindfold. That's never a great thing to hear. The blindfold is a little scratchy and smells like dirt. You can feel Cal's big hands on your shoulders. I'm gonna spin you around, and when I let go, you gotta listen to my instructions. We're gonna walk all the way to the cafeteria, okay? You nod. You can't see Cal's grin, but you can hear it in his voice as he spins you around and counts to 10. 1, 2, 3. First, Cal says, you gotta walk forward 10 steps. You follow it as best you can or make things difficult for him? I'll do my best. Alright, you take 10 steps forward, holding your hands out for balance. The rocky dirt between the garden beds crunches through under your feet. Yeah, Cal says. Now turn to your right and take 15 steps until we get to the door. Alright, turn to the right and walk forward, counting his 15 steps. When you stop, Cal laughs. You can hear his footsteps crunching behind you. I forgot how much bigger I am than you. You're like 2 more steps away. You take 2 more steps until your outstretched hands land on the warm metal of the door. Success! Awesome, Cal says. You can't help but smile. This is fun. Now hit the door button on the right, and then keep walking forward until I say stop. Go really slowly, okay? You open the door and start to walk forward. The path slopes downward and your feet slip a little. Even though you're moving as slowly as you can, real dirt is nothing like the metal floors of the stratospheric. It's turbo rocky here, Cal says, and you can feel uneasiness prickle up the back of your arms. Just keep going forward slowly. Can you trust him? You try to do as you're told, but after a few steps, your foot knocks against a sprawling root and you fall forward, catching yourself on your hands and knees. Ouch! You tear off the blindfold, sudden rush of tears flooding your eyes. Oh no. Cal's beside you in an instant, kneeling on the rocks. Are you okay? He asks. You look down at yourself. Your hands and knees are pretty scraped up and your pride is bruised. But other than that, you're okay. Cal helps you stand. I'm sorry, Sarian. I'll be a better helper next time. He asks if you want to get some Watado juice at the cafeteria instead. You spend the rest of the afternoon brainstorming more games where there are no winners or losers. That is a nice game to make up. It's like a trust game. Hey, Tange. Sarian, Tangent says, approaching you with purpose. We need to discuss my brother. Who, Dis? Yes, Dis, she says impatiently. I need you to figure out where he's been disappearing. Ever since we landed, I barely see him anymore. He doesn't even come home at night sometimes, and She trails off and looks at her feet. Well, I'm not on very good terms with my brother of late, but well, people are becoming worried. You get the feeling Tang is the one who's worried, but she doesn't want to admit it. I'll find out. Thank you, Sarian, she says, looking relieved for a second before her expression hardens again. I mean, it would be a ridiculous waste of resources if something happened to him and no one knew where he was or how to find him. Right, of course. Tang doesn't get worried. I see. Where is he now? You. You tell Dis that her sister wants to know where he's been disappearing off to. He stares vaguely off towards the engineering wing where his sister is reading on her holopalm between classes. Where do you go? I don't have enough friendship with this guy. She's worried about you. She doesn't care about me, he says sullenly. Tangent's just worried she'll get in trouble if I don't come home one day. He scowls and picks at the hem of his sweater. She doesn't care about anything but her schoolwork. I'll just leave him alone. Or will I? No. Okay. I don't think he's gonna tell us anyway. Hey, Mars. Oh. Hi, Sarian. Marzipan looks bored. My dad's made me come out to get some fresh air. Don't know what's so fresh about it. It's always full of acid snow or pollen or water, and I don't know which is worse. Alright. Maybe I'll do some delivery this month. It's been a while, but it's time to attend the meeting of the Secret Fun Times Club. Whoa. Mars started the SFC years ago when you were little kids. Tangent and Tammy agreed to join at the time, but then you got all busy with other things and forgot about it. And then Tammy died. You meet in an unused conference room in command, which Mars says is perfect for a secret club. Club President Mars brings the meeting to order. Tange, Vice President of Writing Down Secrets, records the meeting notes on her holopalm. As Vice President of Fun Ideas, it was your job to come up with something for the club to do today. You chose making friendship bracelets and brought all the supplies you'll need. Today, Mars announces, we're gonna make friendship bracelets. And I have an even better idea. We're gonna sell them to people for kudos. That isn't really how kudos are supposed to be used, but Mars is hard to argue with sometimes. The three of you spend the afternoon braiding bracelets out of recycled bits of wire and bright plastic packing straps. Your hearts aren't really in it, though. All three of you know that Tammy would have been much better at this than you. Making friendship bracelets was one of her favorite things. She was always giving them to people and didn't expect anything in return. It's eventually Mars who calls the meeting early. She takes all your misshapen bracelets and looks at them dubiously. I don't know if people want to trade their kudos for these, but I'll do my best. I'll put the kudos in the club treasury. Meeting adjourned. You ask Tangent if she thinks Mars is actually going to sell them. I think so, Tangent tells you, but the club doesn't even have a treasury. She'll probably keep the kudos for herself. She doesn't seem to care. Alright. Let's see here. Goal is 13, should be easy enough, right? Right? Yeah. It's a +1. Ooh. Let's swap these two. And then swap these two. Wait. No, that was a bad idea. Okay, perfect. Well, not really. Shouldn't we get 13? Okay, not a good idea. Maybe here? Ah, there we go. Nice. Okay. Nice, you're from Calm. Got it. That was pretty helpful. Late dust. It's probably very hot. Hey, Anemone. Hi, Sarian. She huffs, catching her breath. She grins. On the ship, adults are always saying, no running, Anemone, no running. But outside, there's so much room. I can run for 5 minutes in one direction. Even more after the robo-plows clear the land for farms. Alright. Hey, Tange. Tange sniffs the air. It stinks out here. Not just one stink either. Every day it's a new stink. Today it smells like... She wrinkles her nose. Like that time the waste reclamation unit broke down. Yuck. You haven't noticed the smell. She sure is sensitive. Or maybe she likes the stale air inside the ship better. Cal, how you holding up? Scratching a stick listlessly in the dirt. Seeming uninterested in your presence until you get right in his face. Oh, hey Sarian, he says, mustering up a hollow smile. Sorry, I don't really feel like playing today. Oh man. He's probably thinking about, like, his friend. I think we should go to school today. Study life sciences. For today's lesson, Professor Hal tells you, we'll start with a fun group project. You'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Vertumna. In the ideal conditions, it can grow at a speed of over 1 meter a day, and at a diameter up to 30 centimeters. What in the world? For real? He stands on his tiptoes and gestures to illustrate. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions. You're teamed up with Tang and Cal and are given with a mush tree spore and a bucket to grow it in. The rest is up to you. Tang looks up surveyor's notes on the holonet. Mush trees, she reads, are the most abundant south of the colony in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp. What if we use water instead of soil? Cal suggests, like they do with hydroponics. Tang nods. If they like wet weather, that might work. Sarian, do you have any suggestions? I don't know if that would work. A grow light probably wouldn't lower the water's pH. Singing to it daily, run an electrical current through it, or all of the above. That would probably, kill it. Let's try lowering the water's pH. I think maybe mushrooms like acidic soil. You fill the bucket with water and add spark snow crystals. These are sometimes left over at the end of quiet season. They're mildly acidic, which means they should lower the pH of the water. It sounds like a swampy environment. Every day you rush into the classroom to check on its progress. At first there's nothing, but by midweek your little mush tree shoot sprouts up and starts its journey. In the end, yours is in the middle of the pack. Seeing as mushrooms don't usually grow where there is spark snow, you're able to conclude that they probably don't like acid. Dang. Okay, well, that was the wrong choice, but that's alright. Alright. Nice. I don't think it matters that we get exactly 13. Okay. It is winter now. Well, what season is this? Wet. It's wet season. How are friendships doing? It's going alright. Hey Cal, you feeling better? I don't think you'll like that. Hey Dis. Same as always. Yeah, Dis has been going outside the gates. That's not good. I mean, even the adults seem to be a bit scared of what's going on out there. Sturdy mushwood log. Okay. Let me think. I think we should go to school a bit more. Learn a bit more about biology. You each pick up a native Vertemna keystone species and prepare an hour-long presentation to the class. You pick the float cow. Cal's excited. He's gonna pick the float cow too. You end up working together on a slightly longer presentation, which gives Cal time to describe in gory detail all of the float cow births he's attended. The class is fascinated. Hmm. Hmm? Don't think we'll be able to get anything from this. +2 to a card. I do want to save those. +1 to a card. Well, I don't want to give up. I think that's our only choice. I think that's the best I can do. You're having a terrifying, familiar dream. A monster crashing through the walls. Unfathomably large, every part of it was wriggling and moving and searching for something. It tramples through the colony as you watch helplessly. Time shifts through the wreckage of your home. You're picking through it, looking for something. Tears streaking down your dust-covered face as you lift heavy pieces of debris, searching. You wake up by shouting, "No!" But your voice is drowned out by a deafening rumble from the skies outside. The bedroom window is covered in water. It's pouring down from the clouds. You guess this must be rain, but you've never experienced it before. There's a bright flash from outside, then another crack and rumble. Thunder. Must be a thunderstorm. It's still the early hours of the morning. You've already almost forgotten your bad dream, and you're too unsettled to go back to sleep yet. The rain beats down on the roof of your quarters, joined now and then with great peals of thunder, like the footsteps of an angry beast. Let's go to our parents. Your dad's awake too, watching the rain from a large porthole in the kitchenette. He gives you a hug and you gaze out together. "This is good," he says quietly. "It'll mean we'll have plenty of water for the crops. Pure, healthy water. Just like on Earth. Everything's gonna be okay, my little potato. You hug your dad tight and hope he's right. Mid-wet. The mid-wet. Hey, Tange. Tangent is watching a construction crew build scaffolding for the new engineering pavilion. They're using mushroot, which is so light that one person can easily lift a 10-meter long pole and stack it into place. She points towards them. Human beings are so great, don't you think? Before we landed, this was all just dirty jungle. Now it's civilization. I've been learning about adaptability in writing in biology class. The books say it's what sets us apart from the animals. Like, we don't need fur, but we can make warm clothes, and if it's too hot, we can make air conditioners instead. Huh, yeah, totally. Maybe the animals have neat adaptations. Tangent rolls her eyes at you. Maybe, but even if they can, I haven't seen any sign of intelligent life here. It's just those big dumb xenofauna. Some animals here are smart and friendly. I actually haven't seen them, but I'm gonna assume some are. Tangent looks skeptical. They're still animals, Sarian. Maybe they're just pretending to be nice so you feed them. You're lucky it didn't eat you. She folds her arms. Dorb's moth look cute, but one can eat through a bag of rice in less than 30 minutes. Even an herbivore can be dangerous here. It doesn't have to want to eat you to be able to hurt you. Whoa. Together you watch as the foreman puts the blueprints for the scaffolding onto the floating screens of her hollow palm and raises it to the scaffolding to check their progress. I'd like to see an alien do that, Tam says primly. Humans look defenseless and weak, but we're the strongest species in the galaxy. Who else can literally bend reality to their will? Not a stupid alien, that's for sure. My god. Why are you so superior? She puts one finger to her chin. I'm living proof that humanity is greater than our biology, she says. All of us are really, with our genetic enhancements, we're the next step in humanity's evolution from great ape to galactic superspecies. I was starting to like you actually, but now I'm not so sure. Alright, doesn't seem like there's anything new going on these days with my friends, so let's see. I kind of want to try some shoveling. Alright, let's get to work. The days have been getting shorter, with only the yellow sun barely skimming the horizon. One morning you wake in the darkness and have to check your holopalm to know what time it is. You see a holostream from Mars. Good morning to all my pals, if you can even call it morning. They've named it glow season because, like, everything is crazy glowing out there in the dark. I'm staying inside for the next month. What's the point in even going out if you can't see anything? It's going to be a long, boring month. No way, it looks cool out there. You peek out the window. The wormhole is the biggest you've ever seen it, like a massive fiery ring in the sky. The planet must be very close to it now. And out in the jungle, something new is taking place. The plants are flowering, glowing, iridescent blooms. Everything is full of life. There are strange new sounds, long hooting calls and gurgling roars. After Mars's message is a notice from the council, warning everyone to stay safe inside. Tammy's dad and the other surveyors have been called back, and the gate's closed for the month. There's a tension in the air, as if everyone is waiting for something. Is this when the monsters come out? Oh shit. That's wild. It's very pretty. for sure. I wonder what's going on out there. Should we actually go outside during glow season? No way, nah. That is not a good idea. I'm not risking it. But it does seem like most people are inside. Sarian! Your mom stops you as you walk by. What are you doing out of your quarters? It isn't safe out here. Doesn't seem very dangerous. She narrows her eyes. What you should be afraid of here is me, if you don't do what I say, Sarian. Ooh. We don't know what's out there this time of year, so you and the other kids are going to keep your butts in the ship. You know, there's no sense arguing when she makes that face. As you walk away and are just out of earshot, you hear her mumble. Stars, it is beautiful though. Alright, study life sciences or humanities. There's some sort of emergency in engineering that requires Hal's attention, so today's class will be taught by the ship's AI, Congruence. Good morning, Congruence chirps. Today we're going to talk about the formation of the Vertemna group and our decision to leave Earth. It's a very exciting topic, and we think you're finally ready to hear about it. Let's dig in. You know how it started. Economic and environmental instability, coupled with deeply entrenched hatreds, had thrown the Earth into chaos. And you know how it ended. In that chaos, your parents formed the Vertumna group with a plan to leave Earth. 20 years later, they and their starborn children, you, slid through a wormhole and ended up here, on a planet you called Vertemna. But there's so much you don't know. Congruence pulls up a hollow projection of an unassuming human with a firm maternal gaze. This is Planktonic Ascendants Wangboth Schmidt. That is a mouthful, she says. A spiritual leader of the Vertemna movement. They were what people called a speculative fiction writer. The Vertumna Project proved that their writing, though speculative, was far from fiction. A sci-fi author. Yes, Congruence tells you. Their best-selling novel, Life Beyond the Einstein-Rosen Bridge, told the story of a fictional utopia on the other side of the real-life anomaly at the edge of the solar system. Scientists had been investigating the wormhole for years, but it took a poet to imagine we could travel through it. Wangboth Schmidt's writings centered around the idea of humanity building a technological utopia on another world. Translated to 100 languages, this was a compelling idea to people at the time, so fans started connecting in vert space. Far from just a book club, these people bonded over mutual aid amid the increasing unrest in their own countries. They were committed to Wangboth Schmidt's idea of a future where everyone is treated equally without prejudice. But they realized it couldn't be done online, Congruence tells you. Though committed to social justice, the group saw the impossibility of forming a truly egalitarian society, while also reckoning with their own implicit biases and the diverse context of their real lives. They realized that this was the work of generations, and the solutions looked to the future, as Wangboth Schmidt did. Okay, so they got together. The image of a squat concrete building with a rooftop garden replaces Wangboth Schmidt. Around the edges of a classroom, the hollow projector gives the impression of towering walls topped with razor wire. The first Vertumna colony, Congruence tells you. 400 people volunteered to sacrifice their own cultural beliefs to walk through these doors, agreeing to come up with a new way of life that would be taught to their children. Babies were conceived by egg and sperm donors chosen by lottery, and raised communally like you as the second generation of the Vertumna group. Those babies were your parents. Wait, was this some kind of cult? Yes, Congruence tells you cheerily. What? The Vertemna group was widely considered to be a non-religious cult. Membership was outlawed in some countries. Planktonic ascendant Swangbotha Schmidt and was later assassinated for their connection to the group, and the ensuing violence affected many lives. You think of your mother and her prosthetic leg, and how she really talked about her life on Earth. The holo projection now shows the compound under siege. As more colonies were founded, word got out about the Vertumna group's social experiments, Congruence continues. Assimilationism was an unpopular ideology at the time because it had been used to commit terrible genocides on Earth. This, combined with panic that the Vertumna group was destroying the family unit or raising an army of Genetech super soldiers, brought the colony under attack from all sides. Cultural assimilation is horrible. What? Everyone fears what they don't understand. The image of the burning compound is replaced with the stratospheric with a launch pad. Luckily, the next phase of the Vertumna Project was ready to launch. 100 colonists were selected to leave Earth on a colony ship to seed a far-flung corner of the universe with new human culture. She smiles. The ultimate goal of the Vertumna group was you children, she says. A generation raised completely unburdened by troubles that plagued Earth. Isn't that lovely? Okay. So nobody on Earth was like us? The Vertemna group members have a unique culture, Congruence replies, but it's formed from a combination of many heritages from Earth. Even the language you speak, Esperanto, was invented to bring people together. And don't worry, Congruence exclaims. You brought your best heritage with you. You're humans. But how did they build the ship? Orbital voyages were a hobby for the ultra-rich in an earlier century, so there were several relics to be found in museums. Congruence replies. The difficulty was not in acquiring a ship, but in making it space-worthy and in the logistics of the launch itself. The group crowdsourced enough funding to purchase and repair the ship, Congruence smiles. As for logistics, well, you're speaking to the solution right now. I was acquired by connected group members, along with the Genetech that created you and your parents. I see. So the technology was sort of like harvested from like long dead billionaires or something. What was Earth like when they left? Terrible. Congruence shows you some dire demographics. The institutions that had given people the illusion of safety were worn down, and wars were rampant, both resource-based and ideological. Large parts of the Earth were rendered uninhabitable by climate change, pollution, and nuclear war, especially the critical food-growing regions of the world. The group weren't the only ones trying to escape Earth, but as far as we know, we are the only success. Ugh. Your head is so stuffed with information it might burst. Professor Hal and your parents never mentioned this stuff before. They waited to tell you because they wanted you to grow up without feeling different based on your genetic makeup or family history. It's hard to imagine having a different culture than your neighbors. You wonder what it's like. Everyone celebrating different holidays, eating different food, speaking different languages. Are you missing out, or are you better without it, like the original colonists believed? It's hard to say, as their decision was made for you long before you were born. All you can do is be the best Sarian you can be. Alright, I think we're gonna push through this one. It's daytime when the emergency sirens start up. Well, what passes for day. It's still nearly pitch black except for an eerie green twilight glow on the horizon. You look toward the gates. They're open. Wait, they shouldn't be open. The alert blares out of every speaker in the colony. It's the same one used for hull breaches and fires, and in space it meant you were supposed to go to the nearest emergency shaft and put on a space suit. On Vertemna, it means to go to an assembly point and wait for instructions. The closest point is the children's crèche, but from the opposite direction you hear shouting and loud popping noises. Gunfire! Is the colony under attack? You find Dis in the crutch and join him in hiding under the arts and crafts table. The lights are dim. You scared? He asks quietly. Just nods silently. Dis shrugs. I thought I would be, but I'm not, he says. I'm not scared of stuff like this. You can't help but glance at the holo projector on the wall, the one that electrocuted your classmate Tammy earlier this year. The glowing bear looms over the room, and for a moment looks more like a monster than a toy. You grew up here. It feels weird to be hiding here, like you're just little kids again. You hear more gunfire and yelling, but within half an hour, they play the all-clear tone. Chief Surveyor Tonin comes in to let you know it's all safe now as the lights come back on. You glance at the hologram teddy bear again. Tonin was Tammy's dad. How can he be sure it's safe? How can he be sure anything is safe? You're relieved when your parents arrive with an ashen-faced Cal. They won't talk about what happened at Geoponics. That was very scary. After 2 weeks of darkness, with the blue sun barely skimming the horizon, it begins to move higher in the sky and daytime returns. The council admits they don't know how the gates were opened or the creatures got in. Some of the attacking creatures were once thought to be docile. Others were species nobody had seen before. It was like something had driven them to assault the colony. At least nobody was killed this time. Now it's quiet again. Okay. Start age 11. Getting older. It really feels like they're keeping something secret from us. I don't know if there would be a reason for the creatures to attack. We definitely need, like, some time off, though. Let's hang out with, Cal. Cal's practicing hoverboard moves in the corner of the lounge. Because the board never touches the ground, the adults can't really complain. This way he has pillows to land in. He's working hard, trying and failing, flip after flip, but he hasn't even broken a sweat. He waves you over. Hey Sarian, he says cheerfully, you wanna practice with me? You practice with Cal for about an hour. It's exhausting. By the end you're sweaty and a little sore, but you feel good. You promise him you'll come back all this month and keep him company. Yeah, of course. Definitely needs, like, a friend. Do you want to forget? First steps. So much has happened in the last month since the monster attack during Glow. The idea of this planet as a peaceful utopia has been shattered. The security squads are training new members and keeping close watch on the gates now. They're reinforcing the walls and even installing a few robotic turrets. In class, you have drills on what to do if the colony is attacked again. In all the excitement, you forgot today was your birthday. Your parents haven't forgotten. They wake you up early with enthusiastic shouts of surprise! Her Vertumna New Year is only a little longer than a year on Earth, so you've taken up its calendar for birthdays. Yours is in the second month of quiet. Spark snow drifts slowly past your porthole window as you snuggle with your dad. Your mom climbs up too and sits on the edge of your bed. Your dad pulls out a bowl of fruit from behind his back with a flourish, like a magic trick. At least you think it's fruit. What are those? Bobber fruit, your dad grins. The foragers have been picking these just outside the walls. They might look funny, but they're tasty. Try one. You take a cautious bite. The pulp is soft and tastes a bit like lemon, only more blue. I bet you can't wait to join the surveyors out there, your dad says wistfully. Who knows what you'll find? Sarian is not allowed outside the gates, your mom interrupts, her voice sharp. It's too dangerous for kids. Well, I know, but eventually, your dad says. But your mom cuts him off again. But not now, your mom replies. Not since the attack. Not with everything we know is out there now. You knew about the monsters, admit it. Your parents exchanged a heavy look. The surveyors knew there was something dangerous out there we hadn't encountered yet, your mom admits after a guilty silence. But we didn't know we would attack the colony. We thought if we closed the gates and stayed inside, it wouldn't see us as a threat. We didn't want to scare everyone, your dad asks. It was just a precaution. Even still, your mom says, it's clear that everyone should know how to defend themselves if it happens again. To be clear, this includes knowing when to run away, your dad adds. Security Chief Brett's offering self-defense lessons at the garrison, you know? Even for kids. If you're interested, you should drop in sometime. Okay? Your mom gives you a stern look. And I've heard stories of kids sneaking outside the walls, she says grimly. If I catch you doing that, I'm gonna put a chip in your ear. You laugh. What a good joke. Your mom doesn't laugh. Me? Never. Yeah, you better never, your mom retorts, crossing her arms. Whatever. Authority figures. Alright, I'm gonna leave it here for today, but this is really nice. It's more visual novel than I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be more heavily focused on the card games, but if you're in for a good story, I highly recommend it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.